Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Press the Action Button. I am your host, Joshua Barber, also known as Joystick on the website. With me, once again this week, for the third week in a row, our D-Pad. How are you doing this week, D-Pad?
This is D to the D to the P-A to the D again. How's it going, my wigger wanksters?
Being wiggers and wanking, I guess.
And are you insinuating that people of color don't play video games and listen to our podcast? I think you have a hidden agenda.
No, but if
D-Pad.
they play video games and listen to our podcast, they are obviously not gangster.
That's probably true. I don't even know. Anyway, also with me this week is once again Alex Kuhn, otherwise known as Game Face. How you doing this week, Alex?
Doing fine. Gain gain plus 30. Let's record this. Let's make some noise. And away to me, pig. Yeah.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Bring the noise.
Bring the toys.
Bring the beer. Extra
Bring
gold.
the boys.
Who wants to do the honor and announce what brew we're drinking this week?
You want to do it, Ian?
Extra gold slow brewed lager. This stuff is $25 for a case of 30.
Try 15.
Oh,
It's
even better.
this is cheap
Well,
beer,
then what
buddy.
are we waiting for? It's crack.
This is cheap beer.
1, 2, 3.
You hear that? 3 simultaneous beer cracks. That's what that was, ladies and gentlemen.
It's 3-part harmony right there.
Yes, it was. This week we have a very exciting show for you. We got 5 topics lined up. I want to apologize for last week's episode being so short. Once again, like I said on the podcast, we kind of fucked up. It got deleted.
Not to mention, it kind of sounded like a microphone probe in a gorilla's intestinal tract and recorded in a truck stop public restroom in South Dakota.
Why South Dakota?
Why not? Do we really have one member in the audience out there in South Dakota listening tonight? Anybody in South Dakota? No.
This goes out to anybody who we have
Offended?
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
That works. That works. We don't give a shit.
We're just gonna shoot the breeze, and we're gonna do what we do. And if people take offense to it, well, I'm sorry. You know, you can kiss my ass and have a nice day.
Depending upon who's listening, there might be someone out there that might take you up on that offer, Ian. God, I hope not.
Okay, not literally kiss my ass, unless they want to come all the way here. You'll have to sign up for it, though. I got a list.
Your ass is not shiny and metal.
I'm thinking about getting metal legs, though. It's a risky operation, but I think it'll be worth it.
That's metal legs.
Third nuggets.
So I just saw Grandma's Boy on FX tonight. They chopped a whole lot of it. I think the finished product was about 30 minutes long. And that's sad, because it's Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, I do love that movie. They probably cut out the entire best scene in the movie when he burns the fuck out of himself at the oven. He's like, ass fucking cocksucker. Just on and on and on, Randy.
Well, they did clip out the Adios Turd Nuggets segment. I don't know why. That was funny. My dad was watching that with me, and we had to turn around and explain it to him.
Can't say turd nuggets on TV, Alex.
Yeah, but you watch Happy Gilmore on TV, you'll notice during this scene where he flips out on his first time on PGA, he flips out and starts cussing out the ball, and then it switches to the people in the office, and he's on the TV in the background cussing out the ball.
You can hear it.
Yeah, you can hear him saying piece of fucking shit.
On the censored version.
Yeah, on the censored version. I noticed that watching the censored version, and I went, holy shit, did they just allow cussing on television?
That was your first S-bomb. You said, holy shit. There's cursing in this movie.
No, I was dropping S-bombs long before that. I think the first S-bomb on television, was probably, well, if it wasn't some guy accidentally flipping out on camera, which we've seen several times, it was probably that episode of South Park where they said that word like 100-something times.
Yeah, the S-bomb episode. I remember my first S-bomb. Yeah.
How old were you?
Oh, I was about 7, I think.
Was a Mega Man involved?
Oh, it was most likely video game induced swearing.
Mega Man will cause you to cuss. You'll be like, "Oh, that's fucking cheap!"
I think my first S-bomb was probably shortly after my first Jaeger bomb. No, that's an exaggeration.
Oh man, I want a Jaeger bomb. I had to bring up Jaeger bombs.
Irish car bombs are far superior. They taste like chocolate milk.
Kind of, sort of. I don't know which one I like more. I like both.
Creamy, yes.
I'm not huge on hard liquor. I love beer, but I'm not huge on hard liquor. Jaeger is one of the very few that I can just drink straight.
That's true. That's true. That's just like liquid licorice.
That stuff. I think it tastes like Moxie. I love it.
Hello,
I found Moxie.
Moxie.
Shut up, Ian. I found Moxie, and I was like, wait, a soda that tastes like Jgermeister? Awesome.
Whatever. How come we haven't gotten any Jaeger since I moved in?
Good question, because we don't have a Jaegernator yet. You know, the 3 bottles screw
Jaeger
into the top,
tabs.
it chills it to exactly the right temperature. It's a great big Jaeger keg.
Maybe we do need one of those. We'll have to look into that sometime. Listen to us yammering on and on and on. By this point, you guys are probably like, get to the fucking topics already!
Get on with it!
Yes, get on with it!
Yo, you got to wrap it up! Spell show reference
Press
there.
the wrap it up button.
Yes, the wrap it up button. We're not going to wrap it up anytime soon, though. But we will probably wrap up the yammering on and on, so we can yammer on and on about the various topics that I have lined up for today. Good news for the site. We may be able to get the staff page up. That depends solely on you, Ian.
There's a staff page.
Well, it's not up on the site yet, but I've told you about it. I told you I want you to get a picture that represents yourself and information.
The picture. Okay, I'm thinking
we
about
have a
using
manufacturing wing? We have a staff?
You, me, Ian, Cousin Eddie, who's doing design for the...
Cousin Eddie?
Yeah, he's a guy that lives somewhere else in Pennsylvania. He's a metalhead.
Isn't he that
and
hairy
gamer.
guy from the Addams Family?
No, that was Cousin Ed.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting Adam's
Eddie.
Family and the Munsters confused.
Cousin Eddie, he's a big Iron Maiden fan. He's a huge metalhead. He's a fellow gamer. He does graphic design. And if you want to check out everything that he's done, head on over to the site. Look at all the different pages. We've got... my mind's gone blank. We've got banners up for each page, each individual page now. Got one head banner over the entire website, and then one smaller banner over each page. It looks really good, and he's done a wonderful job with that. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. We'll try to get you onto the podcast sometime in the future.
Thank you, Eddie. Ready, Eddie, Palestine, Terror on the Airline.
The other one is KKND, who is also part of this website. Maybe someday we can get him on Skype and podcast it up with him as well.
We'd also like to thank the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man for bringing us tasty morsels and not bringing about the end of humanity as we know it. Like from Ghostbusters.
Ray, next time someone asks you, are you a god? You say, yes! Oh, such a good movie, such a good movie. I missed that movie.
Well, it's Wednesday, and I think as the voice of God... No.
God's gonna lower his standards to the point of making you his voice.
Don't ask. It's a long story.
Oh man, we're almost 11 minutes into this thing. We really should get to the podcast. And I showed you guys a trailer for this first game right before this podcast started, and Alex has played it a little bit. Kanan Lynch Deadman is getting a sequel. Kanan Lynch 2 Dog Days. It just got a release date of the 24th of August. So look for it then. I am really, really excited about this game. I cannot wait for it. Where the first one focused more on Kane, this one's going to focus more on Lynch. And it takes place in Shanghai, or at least parts of it do. We know that because they just released a trailer that has the release date in it. And I think it looks really cool. I'm looking forward to getting to know more about Lynch. I thought he was an interesting character in the first game. And yes, the first game is flawed. It had some things going for it that I really enjoyed. What are you guys thinking about this one?
I did get to play a little bit of Kanan Lynch. Well, a significant portion of it, probably close to half of it. And seriously, I mean, this is contemporary third-person shooter, action with a very heavy plot line. This isn't typically my fare. This thing definitely is not my bag, baby. But I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved how gritty it was. I loved just how stylized it was. The action. This is the first one we're talking about of course. Here, I thought the control was very fluent. It was just had a good flow to it. It played like a Tarantino movie, and I really like that. Honestly, before we go any further,
like the dialogue.
And Lynch, this is very exciting that this new game focuses mostly on Lynch, because I thought he was just an awesome character. Just from the way he looks, the way he acts, the way he's kind of an anti-hero, he's most definitely an evil person, but you have to love him. So
he's kind of like, if you were to give him a D&D alignment, he'd be lawful evil, I guess.
Something like that, Jenkins. Joystick, before we go on, I'd like for you to clarify how you think the first one was flawed. I mean, I guess maybe I just haven't really been around in modern gaming as much, but I really liked it, and I'd like to hear your constructive criticism.
First off, the enemy AI could have been better. Sometimes it seemed like most of what they did was just hide behind cover and shoot. They weren't very aggressive with grenades and stuff like that. That all could have been better. Could have been more akin to, Fear or something like that. Although I don't know how much harder that would have made the game, considering that the aiming in it was not exactly perfect. I mean, you could eventually get to shots, but sometimes it would take a little bit. And that was a little bit frustrating. The aiming was a little off. And I understand the aiming being off somewhat at a great distance, but when you keep firing and you can't hit the guy, it can get a little bit frustrating at times. Nonetheless, it did not tear down my enjoyment of the game. I loved the story. I loved the characters. It had some very shocking moments, and you know that these two guys are not good guys, but the guys they're going up against are much worse. You can't help but cheer for them. And I'm really excited about this game. The first one had some really cool ideas, especially with the crowd scenes. There's scenes in the game where you'd have tons of people running everywhere while you were trying to accomplish whatever mission. People would be quickly trying to get out of there's a club while you were being shot at by guards inside the club, and you're trying to weed out the guards.
The guards open fire on you? Well,
yes.
While there's customers?
Yeah, because you've already started killing people at that point.
Well, so why would they add to the casualties? I mean, can't they at least wait till everyone's evacuated?
Well, if they can kill you, they can end the casualties right away. And you kidnap the head of the club, the owner.
Yeah, I haven't played this game, but from what you guys are telling me, it sounds a little bit like No More Heroes for the Wii. It sounds like like the typical anti-hero. Well, not typical. It's kind of like a new concept that's coming back into
Well, the
popular
anti-hero is a long-established concept, but these anti-heroes are much darker. I mean, they're both on death row, for starters. One of them is a medicated psychopath.
It's more like Sopranos than No More Heroes. No More Heroes is really
Over the top?
is very over the top, very stylized, which Kanan Lynch is, but it's more gritty. No More Heroes was just a very playful take on the action-adventure genre. I'm going to call it a genre
It
from
still
now on.
sounds like a game where you play as not the stereotypical hero.
Yes.
And it's a choppy game. Like, they could have done it better, but it still gathered a cult following.
Yeah.
And it's just a game that is a little lacking in gameplay, but it's dripping with character and creativity.
Yes, that is very true. It's lacking in a few areas, but
I've never played it, but I played through No More Heroes, and as flawed as a game it was, I loved it, I finished it, I played through it again, and I am looking forward to the sequel.
Oh, that's already out. At some point, I should let you borrow Killer 7. That's a whole lot darker and grittier than... I mean, Killer 7, with the characters and whatnot, is more in tune with what Kanan Lynch throws out there than No More Heroes is. It's also got great dialogue. It's like playing... To say what he said, it's like playing a Quentin Tarantino movie.
That's what I was going to say. Killer 7, I mean, I've caught little bits of it, and it seems to be very, very anime, which is cool.
Abstract.
Abstract. Yeah.
You don't move around. You don't navigate the game. You would any other one.
But the thing about Kanan Lynch is just that you really, really feel for it. And usually, I'm not one for a lot of character development and storyline taking precedence over gameplay. Although the gameplay was really pretty good, but the thing I like about Kanan Lynch is it really feels like a down-to-earth, almost not. It's not quite film noir. It's not stylized to the point where it doesn't seem real.
It is very noir, to be honest. I mean, it is very dark and stuff like noir stuff is, and it's crime and.
It's it seems like something that's really going on. I mean, it almost seems like an HBO crime drama. I would almost compare it more to The Sopranos than anything else, minus all the slow parts.
The Sopranos, or perhaps a Scorsese flick, would you say?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
I love Martin Scorsese. I'm wondering how gamers are going to react to this game, though, because the first one was met with huge controversy when Jeff Gerstmann got fired from GameSpot the same day that his review of the game, which was lackluster, went up on the site. It was pulled down, it was edited. They gave reasons for the editing, and all the gaming world doubted that and said, oh, he got fired for this, and they edited it to make it sound better. I haven't seen the original review. I only saw the edited version, the aftermath, and the aftermath of it all. And I don't know if that's why Gerstmann got fired. I don't know. But I gotta wonder, with that hanging on the first game and holding it down, are people going to treat the second game the same way? Or they're gonna give this series a second chance? I thought the first one, at minimum, showed a whole lot of potential to be a very good game, and I think gamers should give it a second chance. Any final comments, guys?
You guys want to hear my 5 o'clock shadow?
It was not me. It was the one-armed man.
Okay. Whatever. I have no idea what to say to that. Okay. Bad Company 2 is calling out Modern Warfare 2 with its downloadable content, and it's basically going out there and saying we're better than you. The maps that you can download for Bad Company 2 are free. They're being released the same day as Modern Warfare 2, and they put special emphasis on the fact that Modern Warfare 2's maps, you're getting 2 maps from the first game and 3 brand new maps for $15, and a whole lot of people think that sounds expensive for downloadable content. I would tend to agree.
Yeah, but my Nazi movie is better than Tom Cruise's Nazi movie.
I love that Brad Pitt actually went out there and said that. That was so great. This is kind of the same thing, I guess. It's the guys that develop Bad Company saying our Modern Combat game is better than Modern Warfare 2, and their Modern Combat game, our game is coming out with all developers intact. Referencing back to our first podcast when we were talking about the heads of Infinity Ward getting canned.
One thing I did notice, though, is that Modern Warfare is a lot more stealthy and Bad Company is a lot more run and gun. I mean, they're still both very accurate games, and as far as storyline goes, they're both very stylized, like we were talking about before. You really get the feel for the character development. No.
I kind of like how Bad Company 2 doesn't take itself too seriously all the time. Modern Warfare took itself seriously to the point of it actually being kind of funny, and that they just overdid it. Ramirez, do everything! Ramirez, get over to the Burger King and defend it against the entire Russian army! That was Modern Warfare 2.
But we want the burgers. We must fight for our sweet motherland.
Vodka! Ah, motherland! Meanwhile, in Russia. But I'm tired. Well, take a nap. Send fires and missiles!
In Soviet Russia, motherland defends you.
In Soviet Russia, missiles fire you.
Oh. The bad Modern Warfare 2 guys are working out of Soviet Russia. You make $1 billion and you get canned for it.
What it's starting to sound like is that Modern Warfare, I mean, I've never played the whole game through. But yeah, it sounds like it was a little bit too serious to be taken seriously, and from what I've seen of Bad Company is, you know, you see the soldiers.
It throws in humor.
Exactly. They throw in humor, and that kind of gives it a sense that, hey, these people are, you know, thrown into a mission that they may not survive. They're going through hell and back, and they're just pretty much trying to joke and pretty much trying to hold on to their humanity.
In Soviet Russia, humanity holds on to you.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, I need to go there then.
One thing I do like about this is, with them calling out this other company that's making a similar game, with them calling out this other company that's making a very similar game to theirs and making a very similar product, it really helps promote competition. And competition is good for the industry. If you have somebody competing with you for the same market, it pushes you to make better games. And who could argue with that? Who doesn't want better games? I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with Battlefield Bad Company 2 or Modern Warfare 2. They're both great games, but hey, if the developers are going to strive to make better games, I'm all for that. I'm all for competition in the industry.
Who doesn't want better games? Jack Thompson.
Yeah, that and that douche out in Australia whose name I forget.
Cranky McWallaby.
Probably.
Zero punctuation?
Probably. That or Kangaroo McWallaby.
Boomerang McWallaby.
How to speak Australian. I loved those commercials.
I remember his name, actually. Mel Gibson.
Is that the guy from Zero Punctuation?
Mel Gibson makes movies that should, in theory, make good video games. Although time has proven itself repeatedly that making good video games based on movies is nearly impossible.
Exactly. Never found one I liked.
to be fair, Ian, there are a couple ones here and there where the game is good, so is the movie. Like Batman for the NES.
I've played a couple games.
Batman for the NES, based off of Tim Burton's Batman.
Batman's don't count. But I have seen there have been too many times, especially if you're a fan of the movie, which you would think that if you're a fan of the movie, oh, you need to buy the game too. You have to. Come on, capitalism, get with the program. But then you go out and buy it, and you're like, wow, I know exactly what's going to happen because I've seen the movie. And enemies will pop out and attack you exactly when they did in the movie. And it just lacks the elements that you would expect when you're playing a new video game.
A whole lot of times they just rush the game to get it out at the same time as the movie. And it usually...
Cinematics, cutscenes, they always seem so forced.
Yeah, it's forced. It just doesn't work out very well. But there are occasions where it works out well. Like I just said, Batman. And there's a whole slew of good Star Wars games.
Oh, hell yeah.
You ever played Knights of the Old Republic?
KOTOR.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
I was going to say, if you haven't, I'll have to let you borrow my copy. It's so good, I'll let you borrow it.
I don't have an Xbox anymore, but...
You could play it on your PC, buddy.
Oh, okay.
I've got the second one for the Xbox, but I got the first one for PC.
Anyway, I feel like we've been on this topic for forever and a day.
Yeah, we really should move on. We're at 28 minutes. Now look at this. You're getting live updates. I'm paying attention to the time.
How many did we cover? 2?
No, we covered 2 of the topics. We've only got 5, though.
Okay. Oh, all right.
So we can spend as much time on each topic as we want. I don't want this to be another 35-minute podcast like the last one was. Anyway, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, a game that I am very, very excited about. I love Metal Gear. It's one of my all-time favorite...
Metal Gear.
It's one of my all-time favorite franchises, if not my all-time favorite. I love Metal Gear.
Metal Gear Solid PSP Walker.
Metal Gear Solid PSP Walker is getting... There you go. Now you got me saying it. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker is getting a limited edition version of the PSP that is green. I've seen the thing. Personally, I think it's kind of ugly, but that's beside the point. It's kind of cool that they're doing this, trying to boost PSP sales, which aren't bad on their own. The PSP is not bad on their own. It's selling like 30 to 40 million units, and that's well beyond the realm of respectable. But you look at it in comparison to its competition, the DS, it's getting stomped. It's been getting stomped since day one.
It's kind of one of those everything units, like the PS3, except I don't know. I really don't know why it's not faring as well. I mean, I guess because PlayStation already has one primarily successful units.
Do you mean to tell me, Josh, Joystick, that Nintendo is winning at something in the video game wars?
Dude, Nintendo has always curb stomped when it comes to handhelds.
Yeah.
I mean, think about Game Boy versus the Game Gear. Oh, we're in color!
If the Wii is the last successful generation for the whole Nintendo franchise, for household TV consoles, I hope they continue to keep doing handhelds forever. I want something of Nintendo to live on. They just.
Well, they'll make a predecessor to the Wii.
We got.
They will make a predecessor to the Wii, and I think as long as they continue to have series such as Mario, Zelda, and Metroid, they'll continue to sell well.
Yeah, they have titles. They have a handful of titles
that have a hardcore fanboy following.
Personally, I hope they add some new titles that carry on a franchise. I'm kind of hoping that No More Heroes, the Travis touchdown, turns into a mascot.
Oh, the first one's supposedly being ported to the PlayStation 3. That's kind of cool. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker is getting a green limited edition PSP. What are we thinking about this, guys?
I think it's just a different colored plastic.
I don't know if there's anything else special about it, like the Darth Vader PSP
if it was
they
camouflage,
did.
That would be cool.
Reminds me of the Pikachu Game Boys. Remember those?
That was short-lived. I remember they were yellow, right?
No, they were blue. Yeah, they were yellow.
I don't remember if there was anything else special about them. That's why I was asking.
I think there was a Pikachu decal on them. That's about it.
That would make sense. There was a white PSP that they did that had a Darth Vader decal on it. I remember seeing that at E3 and then never hearing about it again.
Oh, I remember the commercials for that. The annoying guy in the elevator. Oh, you just got a PSP.
At least Sony's ad campaigns have improved a ton. I mean, their ads you remember the original ads for the PlayStation 3? Like, the controller would levitate, and then it would tilt one way, and, like, the eggs would go toward it.
I remember these commercials with this creepy-ass box, and things would come out of the box, and then black tar would come out of the box, and then they'd go back in the box, and it'd say PS3, buy one. And you were just so creeped out that you went out and bought one.
It was weird, man.
How about that one with the baby doll that cried?
Oh, that thing was creepy.
Yeah, that was creepy, and I was sitting there watching it going, Sony, what are you thinking?
It works.
I think this is a good way to promote Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. They're gonna... I mean, people are gonna see, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker and Limited Edition PSP. Metal Gear is a system seller. It really is. And people are this will probably increase sales of the PSP significantly.
Did I mention the lockbox would be camouflaged? I had a thought, and I just needed a little segue to... we were talking about, console promotions. Did anybody remember the PS2 commercial where they were talking about the PS9 that you inhale? Yeah, I had a friend who believed that.
Yeah, it said PS2 at the beginning, right?
Yeah, he said, he's like, Mom, this thing's really cool. It's coming in 2009. That's like 12 years from now.
The PS2 didn't even exist 12 years ago.
That was an exaggeration. This was 2000 when he said that. And this is the same guy who thought that Verizon was racist because there was a power outage and they hung up on him when he asked for Domino's pizza or something like that. I don't know. Let's get back to the show here. I could do this all night.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that guy, and I sat there and went, "What the fuck is he smoking? What the fuck is he smoking?"
If Sony wants to promote the sales of anything Metal Gear Solid, they should make it come with the bandana.
I would buy that.
I would do anything for Snake's bandana.
That would be badass.
Sweat or not.
If anything, they should package a PS3 with a freaking knife.
You know what?
How cool would that be? Some big freaking knife.
You know what would be awesome? Get Sean Connery, dress him up like Big Boss, and have him record a commercial for this game because you play as Big Boss in this game. Be like, "Hi, I'm Big Boss. And I'm here to tell you about Peace Walker."
Buy this game.
With his Sean
Or
Connery
you will
accent.
never get laid. Ever.
People listen. Sean Connery
People
talks,
will,
you
and
listen.
Then they go and buy it, the promotional, and a snake jumps out and bites them in the neck. Oh, this is so cool. Ah!
I'm Big Boss. And Kurt Russell. He is Solid Snake.
Can I have a number 3 value meal with a large Baja Blast?
Suck it, Trebek.
You're the man now, dog.
You're the man now, dog. Finding Forrester. We found that movie. We saw that movie the other day at, what was it? It wasn't Goodwill. It wasn't Walmart either. It was that store that's bigger than Goodwill, and it is exactly like Goodwill.
Salvation Army.
Yes, Salvation Army. That was it. I don't think they can hear you from all the way over there. But yeah, it was. But yeah, it was Salvation Army. We saw that, and I was like, "Hey, Alex, they have Finding Forrester on tape." We wound up buying an X-Men tape. Go us. We're nerdy like that.
And a Pokemon documentary.
We haven't watched that yet. That might be something we wind up doing for the site later on. Because I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but one of the things we want to do for the site is we have 5 episodes of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and we want to sit and watch them and record us doing a commentary and add that commentary over the sound. Obviously, the sound from the show will still be there, but it'll be in the background. We'll add that commentary over the sound and kind of Mystery Science Theater 3000 it up. It'll be cool.
Except your head won't be a gumball machine. I was thinking actually you could do an abridged version of it. You know, just do your own voiceover dubs.
Yes.
That might be cool.
General Washington.
Raiders of the Lost Mushroom.
That show was so bad. So bad.
That's so fungus.
So long, spaghetti suckers!
To be honest, I'm kind of ripping that idea off from ScrewAttack.com, which has done it with an episode of that show. They also did it with the god-awful Street Fighter movie with Van Damme in it. You guys remember that? The Street Fighter movie with Van Damme in it?
In the Street Fighters movie, a guy gets thrown into a Street Fighters arcade game. I'd just like to point that out.
Well, it's better than The Legend of Chun-Li that they did a couple years ago. That movie sucked donkey balls and licked donkey scrotum.
Some marshmallow on the wall now.
Cookie crumbs. Chocolate chippies. All over raisin. Joystick, what are your thoughts on this?
Tu Madre es tu Padre. Anyway, you guys, let's move on to the next one. Sony bought Media Molecule this week. If you don't know who Media Molecule is, you probably haven't played Little Big Planet or heard of it. In which case, where have you been for the last 3 or 4 years?
Living under a rock.
I've actually done both of them. Heard of Little Big Planet and subsequently played it, and I honestly didn't know what the production company was named.
That's because you're a walking pile of fail, Game Face.
Well, you're a failing pile of walk.
It'll usually take me a few times through a game to realize, like, hey, I like this programmer's style. What company did this?
Only when I'm
look
drunk.
Into more of their stuff.
So I got Superman 64. What is this? Titus? Cartoon Fox? What?
Titus.
As in,
Titus sucks. I fucking hate that yellow-haired emo pansy that looks like Meg Ryan.
Are you talking about Christopher Titus?
No, he's funny.
Okay, Spoonie.
I'm talking about Titus, the main character of Final Fantasy.
Titus.
It's emo pansy boy for all I care.
Titus. More like tedious.
More like
Exactly.
Titus.
Titus.
Because he has estrogen.
He probably does. He's probably going to start growing boobs like sometime after the game ended. Except that he disappeared. Thank God. I think I was the only person in the world that the ending of that game made me happy. I was like, yes, Titus is gone. Anyway, Sony buys Media Molecule. I'll give Sony this. They certainly know how to pick them. Every single company that they've got is incredibly talented. Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Sucker Punch, Zipper Interactive, and now Media Molecule. And there are rumors that Media Molecule is working on a sequel to the game, and they kind of stood out and said that would defeat the purpose of the game. That game is all about the aftermarket life. And you get online, you find all kinds of levels, and you find the ones that are rated the best, and usually they'll be very, very good levels that were created by people who bought the game and played with the level creator a bunch. WB at Interactive Entertainment and Snowblind announced a new action RPG earlier this week based in the Lord of the Rings universe. It is called Lord of the Rings War in the North, It is expected to be released in 2011. It's going to be an online co-op focus. That does not mean it's going to be an MMO. This is going to be more in tune to something like Diablo, Sacred, or Titan's Quest. Think of that kind of game. From what I've gathered, that's what it'll be like. And it will have parties of 3. Parties of 3 sounds a little bit small, but apart from that, this sounds pretty cool. And I love Lord of the Rings. I read the books. I own the extended edition of all 3 movies.
You scared me.
Yeah, I was actually supposed to have a LAN party for to play some Diablo with some friends today. This weekend, we all took our computers and moved it down to the basement, set them up around an air hockey table. We had this all set up. We had beanbag chairs and ordered pizza and
It failed?
yeah. First of all, my friend Chris, he has Windows 7, and Diablo 2 is too old to work on Windows 7. It doesn't support it.
That would annoy me.
Honestly, computer nerds, was Windows 7 really that necessary? From what I hear, it's exactly like XP, except with a couple new whistles and bells.
Having seen Windows 7, it is very, very similar to XP in a whole lot of ways. It works the same way as XP did, which worked the same way as 98 did, which worked the same way as 95.
It's designed for people who are stuck in the mindset that things inevitably get better every 5 years, regardless of what's actually different about them.
In other words, gamers?
Yeah.
I mean, we get new console every 5 years. I don't think we should, but we do. I don't want a new console for several more years. I mean, you give me like 3 or 4 years, I might be ready for a new console. Right now, it feels like we're just finally tapping into the real serious potential with games like Uncharted 2, tapping into the power of the PlayStation 3. Although the 360 might be running into a roadblock of its own design with the limitations of the DVD-9 format.
Wait, DVD-9 format?
DVD-9, that means it's about 9 gig in size. It's the 9th version of DVDs, because the original DVD was, about a gig?
Oh, heck, I don't know. But you know what? It's as weird as it sounds, the next generation always comes out before we're ready. I mean, PlayStation 3 hit the market when PlayStation 2 was just reaching its heyday. Hey, the next generation of Nintendo console is going to come out, and it's basically going to be exactly like the Nintendo Wii. It's going to be a little bit better, and they're going to call it something that's a tip of the hat to the Wii, like perhaps the Wii 2, or perhaps the Woo.
I could have sworn you told that joke in the first podcast. I don't know. But, yeah, I am very excited about this game, this Lord of the Rings, War of the North. I think it looks really cool. I think it has a lot of potential. I think, if it comes out for the PlayStation 3, which I don't know if there was announced any consoles, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, we're doing a quest. We're going Middle Earth.
Yeah, we'll have to go Middle Earth, you and me.
Right,
you and me, D-pad.
I
D-pad and joystick, motherfucker.
Yeah. What do you like? What do you like? Smashing things or casting spells on things? Or are you like a rogue? You like doing it from behind?
Usually I go for smashing things, although I don't mind playing a more wizard-type character, like I love being the Necromancer in Diablo 2.
Oh, I had my Necromancer all queued up and the game never started. It never happened.
The Necromancer's a fun character, but if you can make a tank Necromancer that runs on Poison Dagger, that takes talent.
That's like a smorgasbord of different characters.
It's like an engine that runs on glue and tar.
That's like a
Run with me.
With chili sauce and chutney.
Run with me. Run with me. Let's run.
Yeah, you got to eat the sandwich before the bread dissolves.
I really need to get you to start watching more episodes of that. I'll start with season 1.
Red Dwarf.
He's on season 6.
Yeah.
The next episode I'm going to show you is actually Gunman of the Apocalypse, which won an international Emmy. Hard to believe a show like Red Dwarf won an Emmy, isn't it? That's like Kevin Smith winning an Emmy. As much as I love Kevin Smith, his movies are not not the kind of movies that the Academy loves. You know?
You know they're remaking Death at a Funeral in America, an American version?
No, I didn't know that.
That was another British comedy movie, and we're taking it because apparently the majority of Americans don't understand British. They never took British in high school, I guess, is the reason. I don't know.
Well, most shows that are really popular over there, they try to bring them over here, they make them pilot and it fails. Because they Americanize the British humor and it just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, this doesn't look like it's going to work either.
I've heard from an external source that the American version of Red Dwarf was actually decent, except for the set design. I've never seen it, but...
I didn't even think it got past the proposed stage. Like, they recorded a pilot and that was it.
That would make my day if they made a pilot and it got shot down. American audiences will accept almost anything. As long as it's American in America, said the man.
Here in America, we're America. We don't speak that British bullshit. They gave us the language and we don't speak it. Yeah. I'm... Off the top of my head, I can't even remember what Snowblind Entertainment has done. I want to say they did Project Snowblind, and that can't be right. That can't be right. I don't know what they've done. So, I don't know what their track record is. But nonetheless, this sounds like it could be cool if it's done right. Hack and slashing your way through
That's
orcs and goblins in Middle-earth with your friends. I'm really looking forward to this. You'll probably be keeping up on this game as well, Garth. D-pad. You looking forward to this, D-pad?
Oh, dude, I'd do anything to go to Middle-earth. I would cut this finger off if it gave me a chance to go to Middle-earth.
Even if it was like for a day, and you had to live with your finger for the rest of your life. He's thinking.
Well, I guess then I couldn't play the game, really.
I don't think I could live without my ring finger. I mean, that's just me.
You don't wear rings.
And, a couple episodes ago, we were talking about the boys on the docks. You know those guys I'm talking about. D-pad.
They were on the docks with their lanterns and fishing nets.
Yeah, and the onion in their shoe.
And don't forget the onion.
Hey, that was in the style at one point.
It was the style at the time.
And the brick said,
"Clonk."
That's right.
Okay, the only thing I recognized of that was a Abe Simpson quote.
Which was the style at the time.
The important thing was I had an onion on my belt, which was the style at the time.
I didn't realize that was a Simpsons reference.
Yeah, rich people would fly around in Zeppelins and drop coins on people. So one day I see J.D. Rockefeller flying by. So I run out of the bathroom with my wash tub to catch some nickels. And nickels had pictures of bees on them. So we called them bees back then. You'd give me 5 bees for a quarter, you'd say. I gotta love Abe Simpson.
I got my microphone in my shoe right now. How's that sound? Huh? Swallow that shoe! That is the shoe of a person!
You know what's sad is he's actually sober.
Slightly sober.
Slightly sober. You're either sober or you're not.
I was sober once, and I lived inside that shoe, and it was a smelly Alcatraz of stinky goodness, and you could cook it up for a nickel, and now it tastes like you struck gold when you were looking for oil. You would say, "Oh, I'm Jingle Belly, I'm rich.
I whistled for a baboon. How's the microphone, Ian? Does it smell like a beer? Does it smell like a beer?
You're just putting bread in my jar, and you can't even taste the synchronizing fluid because it doesn't even look like a beer.
Hello, my name's Tim, and I'm a criminal. In the eyes of society, I need to be in jail. For my choice of herbs, I am ill. And I could go on with this all night, but I'm going to stop there.
Yeah, that wraps up the 5 topics I had lined up for this week. That's about it, I guess, for this week's Press the Action Button. I just decided to let D-Pad ramble on right there for a little bit. Unlike last week, this one should be up on time. So even though you just got one on Thursday, you're going to get one today. Lucky you. Getting one basically so close to each other. Friday, Saturday, then you get
it's
another
only
one.
been 4 days. I'm sorry, guys. You were just getting like an action button overload.
I think you can handle it. I hope you can handle it. Your brain's going to explode listening to Ian's rant there, D-Pad.
I forgot to mention how many porcupines were in my sleeves.
Jesus Christ, it's like listening to
pity you
Abe
people.
Simpson stoned.
If you're still listening at this point, I pity you people, but, I gotta rep you because, you patronize our show, and that means a lot to me. Because we the boys from the Dwarf!
We're the boys from the Dwarf. Okay, homeboys, let's posse.
Let's unrumble.
Unrumble. It's not a bar.
Oh, here's your tooth back, sir.
It's not a barroom brawl. It's a barroom tidy. Where are you going, you coward? I think I just worked out what happens to me back. I don't think anybody who actually listens to this show is actually going to get that, though. They're
might
going to
be
be like, what
one
the fuck
person
are these guys
diamonds in the
referencing?
rough.
You all need to start watching Red Dwarf if you want to keep up with this show. We referenced it last week. We referenced it this week. We probably referenced it in the first episode as well.
It's about time to wrap this up.
Yeah, I think so. Any parting words, guys?
Schism.
Schism.
See you later, crew. You guys are great. Wonderful crowd. I love you. Love you guys.
You know, it was one of my favorite nerd moments when he said, shiz. You remember him saying shiz?
When does he say shiz?
He's like, what he says when he describes the game as a big steaming pile of shiz, and he says that's a combination of shit and jizz, and he goes, that's really gnarly. I'm sorry about that.
That's like disgusting, vile image.
I know, right? Shiz. Now you're gonna be working tomorrow, and then shiz is gonna pop into your mind, and you're gonna be like, ah!
Be like a melted peanut butter milkshake.
Rick Santorum.
Dirty Sanchez.
Global lollipop stew. I think I've said that before.
Yeah, I think you've said that before. Flobida blib blop bleeb. Okay, this has been this week's episode of Press the Action Button. My name is Joystick. With me this week were D-Pad. Say goodbye, D-Pad.
Good night. Good fight. Sleep tight.
Good fight. Good night. And Game Face. Say goodbye, Game Face.
Hey, take it easy. Stay classy, San Francisco. This is Game Face signing off.
More like stay gay.
It's talked. I think you've said that before too, as well. But that's okay. I'll let it slide.
Yeah, we repeat jokes. Apparently, we're not original. Yeah, this is Joystick signing off.